unless you've met them. As they say, in a room, and there's 5 Jews, you've got 6 different opinions. And, you know, that's just the way they are. They don't agree with each other on anything, and you have no consistency, because there's no central body telling them what to believe, except the really ultra-Orthodox groups. There's just no central body, and I'm sure the people with Jewish background in this room here will tell you that that's true. No one ever told them what they're supposed to believe. They don't even know themselves. And they say, well, then what are they? Well, it's more a national identity, which is why the Muslim objection to the Zionist movement is a little bit unrealistic, because the Zionist movement is a kind of Jewish national liberation movement. After all the suffering that they went through, to finally say, well, as a people, we need, if we don't have a territory and sovereignty and a country, we're just going to be devastated more and more and more and more. And of course, that's what's been happening, and it's likely to continue to happen. But the point of the matter is, they felt that at some point they had to assert their peoplehood, not their spiritualhood. And I think most Jews, when you meet them, if you scratch them, they'll be Jewish, like an Italian is Italian. And that's how they were treated in Europe. They just write on their passport, Jew. Like an Italian is an Italian, like an Arab is an Arab, like a Greek is a Greek, like a Frenchman is a Frenchman, like a Scotsman is a Scotsman. Some of them might believe in Judaism, some of them may not. I think most of them don't even know what it is. So anyway, that's what I mean. These capsule descriptions, do people believe something? You'll have to decide for yourself. In any event, this, as the gentleman was saying, Muslims believe. Sunni Muslims have this tradition. I'm not sure that Shiites have this idea. It is an interesting thing. I think it is influenced by the same Judeo-Christianism I've talked about, because they do have an idea of, in this eschatology, of a Dajjal. And in strict language, that sort of means like a joker, or the Antichrist, or something like that. But the word really means literally a joker, a comedian, or something. And in the Dead Sea Scrolls, we have just such a person opposing the righteous teacher, a person who's called a comedian, a joker, a man of jesting, a liar. Again, I think it's influenced by that sort of material. As I told you, for the Ebionites, Paul is the Dajjal, Paul is the liar, Paul is the Antichrist, Paul is the enemy of God. For Christianity, Paul is the saint of God, so you're going to have to figure that one out. So this sort of stuff, I think, went into the Hadith, into the eschatology. So you've got an idea that in the end of time, Jesus and the Dajjal were going to do battle with each other, and then finally the Mahdi was going to come and set everything right. That's the Islamic eschatology as set forth in the Hadith literature. Anything that you have to add to that? No, that's basically what it is. Again, I only miss, if you can find out where that Hadith is, would be really good to know what the source of that is. Yeah, find it, because you have the books, you'll be able to find it. That's good piece of information. Okay, over to Shiism and finish up here. When the Imams went into occultation, the 5th Imam Zayd went into occultation, no Imams after that, he's still been being waiting for. The 7th Imam Ismail went into occultation, 7 Imam Shiites, they're waiting for his return. The Ismailis and the Fatimids, who descended from the Ismailis, the Fatimid Caliphate in 200 years later in Egypt, the 900s, 1000s, were making the claim that basically they were the hidden imams. Then, when I told you, one of their representatives, a very nasty one too, a person who killed a lot of people, was very intolerant. His name was Al-Hakim. It was around, I forget, maybe around 1200, late 1100s. He was the last Fatimid Caliph, and he was very cruel, and he obviously was assassinated and thrown down a well or something, and he disappeared. Well, then, as I told you, this guy went to Lebanon and started making propaganda that he was the hidden imam. Well, he's an imam because he's a Fatimid, and because the whole claim of the Fatimid Caliphate is that they were imams succeeding the 7th imam. So this guy who made propaganda, as I told you last time, was called Al-Darazi. And as his propaganda on behalf of this disappeared caliph, Al-Hakim, took hold in the Lebanon and Syrian mountains, which are always, places, hardy places to survive, a new Islamic or a pseudo-Islamic group who doesn't even consider themselves Islamic anymore, Druze who are. So as I told you, Shiism is capable of great metamorphoses. So he said, what, the Druze worship Al-Hakim? Well, that's how they started, yeah. But they have secret doctrines, just like the Gnostics do. And in addition, they claim that they're descendants of Moses' father-in-law Jethro. They've got all sorts of other ideas, but you can't find out their beliefs because they're not allowed to reveal them, and if they do, again, it's punishable by death. So they do not reveal their hidden beliefs to outsiders. So, but they are a strong presence in Golan Heights, southern Lebanon, Galilee, parts of Syria, and so on. Another group, the present leadership in Syria, Hafiz Afan and his followers were groups of this one, Alawis. They're all Alawis. That's not Shiite and that's not Sunni. And you can see from here it's a plural of Ali. It's multiple Alis. They are an Imam group. But they're also called, for some reason, Nusayris. Now, I've never sorted all this out. But Nusayri is from Nasir, which comes from what they Muslims used to call Christians, Nazarenes. So I do think it's, again, a Judeo-Christian offshoot that has gone through Shiism and come out as another group, a separate group called Alawis. I have no idea. Again, they're a secret group. They don't reveal their doctrines. You can't find out what they believe. And that's it. They're very clannish, and that's how they manage to control Syria. They control the army and they control the government in Syria. So you see, this area is not homogeneous, chock full of different groups. And of course, laterally, out of 12 Imam Shiism. Okay, so the 7 Imam Shiites, they think that Ismail went into occultation. The 12 Imam Shiites think that the 12th Imam, after him, it ceased, and they're waiting for the hidden Imam to return. That the Imam is now hidden, and that's why when Khomeini came, they thought that was it, and that's why everything is in ferment in Iran at the moment, that maybe that's what's happening, and so on. It's very, I don't think, I like the word dangerous. It's very dangerous to the West. It's dangerous insofar as people's religious expectations are deeply tied up in it. So it's very, it can be very powerful. It has a very powerful, because it's based on long-held traditional beliefs, this idea of the hidden.